that don't work.
That frickin'
Let's
newsmaker.
Oh, that don't work. Let's go for one more time.
You're watching News 8 Austin, a Time Warner Cable exclusive community service. It's 8 o'clock. This is your news now.
The Austin Independent School District considers a tax hike that could cost you an extra $200 a year. Testimony begins in the trial of Luis Castro Perez. He's accused of committing one of Austin's worst crimes. Rural Hays County is fighting what they call neighboring big city pollution. We'll explain.
From Austin's only 24-hour local news channel, with your news now. You're watching News 8 Austin this evening.
Hello, I'm Bob Branson. Welcome to the debut of Austin's first and only 24-hour local news channel. You're watching News 8 Austin. And here's what's making your news now. The trial of a man accused of committing one of Austin's most heinous crimes is underway. In an emotional outburst, got one victim's father barred from the trial. It happened as prosecutors showed photographs of the murdered women in the trial of Luis Castro Perez. Perez is charged in the killings of 30-year-old Frances Michelle Fulweiler, 38-year-old Cinda Ray Bars, and her daughter Stacy in their Barton Hills home. Investigators say Perez had dated one of the women and knew the other two victims. Defense attorneys say Austin police only focused on Perez as a suspect. They think another person may be responsible. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Fire investigators are searching for the cause of a massive house fire. Flames erupted from the South Austin home in the 1300 block of Bonham Terrace just before noon. Dozens of firefighters worked to contain the blaze, but investigators say the house is a total loss. Crews are gathering information on what started the fire. Firefighters in Central Texas will soon get more help to fight the blazes. Tuesday, an announcement was expected on bringing in more help from the Texas Forest Service for Bastrop and Travis County firefighters. There have been about 36 fires in the Bastrop area alone. And while most are in the hill country, living in the city does not mean you're free of wildfire danger.
Anyone and everyone needs to take extra special precaution on any outdoor activity. Anything that can cause a spark will, in these drought-like conditions, cause a wildfire to begin.
Here are a few more tips if you live near an open field in the hill country or in the city. Be sure to clear away the dry grass and leaves in your gutters and around your home. Also, make sure you have a hose nearby. That way, if small fire does start, you'll have water on hand to put it out. As a reminder, many counties are still under a burn ban. That means no burning trash or grass in your yard. If you have any questions, call your local fire department. There are, by some estimates, about 6,000 homeless men, women, and children on the streets of Austin. One local man has created a nonprofit organization to help. News 8 Austin's Nicole Trainer has more on House the Homeless.
It's just like your life, except you don't have the conveniences.
Chris Lynn is homeless and has been for a decade. He's one of thousands with no permanent place to go, nowhere to sleep, carrying everything he owns.
I really needed the help, and he was there to help me.
Chris is talking about Richard Troxel.
They never responded to it.
Troxel was on the streets himself many years ago. Now he's dedicated to tackling the homeless problem here in Austin.
Our goal is to end homelessness.
He's created a nonprofit organization called House the Homeless, focusing on getting people off the streets, into jobs, and on their own.
We created it because there was a real need to do what we do, which is education and advocacy about homeless issues.
Troxel spends his days at the Austin Resource Center for the Homeless counseling as well as helping with legal advice. He sometimes spends his nights at city council meetings pushing his cause.
We're here today to talk about health care issues.
Troxel says he's slowly making change in Austin as well as the state. He's pushing for businesses to pay more so people can afford to live, and some of those businesses are. Although baby steps, he says it's working for people like Chris, a man who says he couldn't have made it all these years if it weren't for Richard's dedication.
I think I'd be in a lot worse shape than I'm in right now.
Nicole Trainer, News 8 Austin.
Along with dedicating time to house the homeless, Troxel is also a paralegal. He works for legal aid, giving advice to people on the streets. A man walked into a downtown bank and walked out with some money that wasn't his. Police are looking for the man who robbed the Compass Bank on South Congress about noon Monday. Witnesses say he entered the bank, showed a weapon, and demanded money from the teller. The teller gave him an unknown amount of cash. Other customers were in the bank at the time. Nobody was hurt. As the traffic grows on Central Texas roads, so does the pollution. People living in neighboring Hays County say that's not the Hays their county's named for, and they didn't cause it either. News 8 Austin's Haley Stavanoa explains.
You see it on the highways and you see it in the air. It's pollution from growth in population.
I've noticed, especially in the last several months, that the sky has gotten more hazy.
But county officials say the pollution isn't coming from inside. They believe Clean Air Force officials should start looking outside to find the root of the problem.
Hays County remains very rural, but because of our proximity to big metropolitan areas like Austin, because we have an interstate that comes through here, that we have hundreds of thousands of cars that are all leaving their emissions in Hays County, that leaves us subject to concerns over air quality.
Hays County officials say that they fear unfair punishment because Hays County is a rural area stuck between two metropolitan cities with a major highway going right through it. But Clean Air Force Director Wade Thompson believes that folks in Hays County need to admit growth and take responsibility.
With this growth and prosperity comes certain responsibilities, and when we see impacts in air quality, then measures have to be implemented to help us conform to the air quality standards.
Thompson says the only real solution is for everyone to start working together in every county to bring emissions down. In Hays County, Haley Stavanoa, News 8 Austin.
Hays County ranks second only to Williamson among the fastest growing counties in Central Texas. In Bryan, Texas, jurors heard opening statements Monday in the murder trial of Lawrence Brewer. He's the second of three white men charged in the killing of a black man, James Byrd Jr. Byrd was dragged to death behind a pickup truck last June in Jasper. The first witness in Brewer's trial took the stand Monday. In opening statements, the prosecution described Brewer as someone who sees himself as a hero for having killed a black man. A report by the Texas Rangers brings up more questions about what really happened during the 1993 standoff in Waco. The report says Rangers found a dozen spent rifle cartridges of a type often used by snipers. They were recovered from a house used by the FBI and the ATF during the Waco siege. The FBI has previously denied firing any shots during the 51-day siege. The ATF used the house when it got into a gun battle with the Branch Davidians at the beginning of the siege. Hurricane Floyd is big and powerful and currently headed toward the southeast coast of the United States. People along Florida's coast are stocking up. The grocery stores are packed, and so are the hardware stores, packed with people, that is, not necessarily with supplies. Many people are gathering plywood to board up their windows. Others on the shore are filling sandbags to protect their property.
8 minutes past the hour. Hope you're enjoying the last full week of summer, although we did have a taste of fall today. Temperatures came down considerably, and the winds really started to pick up as a cold front rolled through. Tonight we're down to 64. Tomorrow back up to 82. Tomorrow night 62 as well. So temperatures on both ends starting to come down considerably. Here's a little look at your radar shot. To the south of us, just a slight shower started to fester in San Antonio. Other than that, just pockets of rain, very light in nature across the region as the front came through. Not a whole lot of moisture associated with it. Let's turn to the tropic where things are really becoming serious. This is Hurricane Floyd now moving in a westerly direction at 16 miles per hour, heading towards the coast of Florida. Within the next 24 to 36 hours, we'll have a better indication of where this thing is going to go. Well-defined eye. The pressure keeps dropping. That means it's strengthening. And to give you an idea how big this storm is, 3 times the size of Hurricane Andrew that came through there in '92. We topped out at 90 today. Your overnight low was 68, so we're starting to come down. Of course, there are your record books. No rain officially at the airport today. We're pretty much right on schedule to where we should be. Overnight lows in the 60s. Stay with us. We'll have your 5-day forecast coming up and another look at the tropic.
Just ahead on News 8 Austin, we'll take a look at what's making news around Texas. This is your news now.
How do you describe a new entertainment experience that gives you more?
Selection.
Dozens of new channels and more program choices than ever before.
Clarity.
Sounds so vibrant, it's CD quality.
Control.
A new, easy-to-use on-screen guide. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but only one word can describe a picture like this.
Digital.
Now in Austin, digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Will it free your mind? Or free your phone line? Yes, it's Roadrunner High-Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With Roadrunner's advanced cable modem technology, you don't need a second phone line. And you won't tie up the one you have now. Sounds good, huh? To order Roadrunner today, call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
Totally original, absolutely on fire. Original series on Time Warner Cable.
Award-winning. Action-packed. Off the wall. Riveting. Provocative. Mind-bending. Groundbreaking.
Original series from America's hottest networks. Value you can see every day, every week. On Time Warner Cable.
News 8 Austin brings you news from across the state each half hour. Here's what's happening in the News 8 Austin Texas Roundup. It was a funeral fit for a dog, a very special dog. Thousands of people attended a memorial service on Sunday for Reveille 5, the former Texas A&M mascot that roamed the sidelines during the 1980s. The 14-year-old collie died in June after fighting arthritis. The funeral was delayed until students returned this semester. The Aggies won 6 Southwest Conference titles and 2 Cotton Bowls during the dog's tenure. An inmate has died on Texas death row, but not at the hands of the executioner. 42-year-old James Edward Session died of an apparent heart attack on Monday in his cell. Session killed a troop couple while robbing their home. His appeal was in federal court when he died. An 18-year-old Air Force trainee has died from heat exhaustion, and the safety board wants to know why. Micah Schindler collapsed during a 6-mile march in San Antonio. Schindler was 1 week away from finishing his basic training. Memorial services are scheduled for Tuesday. A small plane started its flight through the air and ended up in the water off Galveston coast. The plane made an emergency landing on the beach on Monday and ended up upside down. The 2 passengers escaped with minor injuries. There's no word yet on what caused the crash. Some unique jewelry turns into a rare business opportunity for a couple of Austin jewelry designers. As News 8 Austin's Paul Greenway reports, the designers are now set to do business with one of the country's most prestigious retailers.
Fashion jewelry is using the traditional materials that are used in fine jewelry, but it's putting them together in non-traditional ways. So it's fashion forward in the sense that it's on the runways, it's in editorial pieces, it's not something, women don't have to feel like they have to put on their diamond necklace to go out. They can throw something on that is a little fun, funkier.
Anthony Camargo and his partner David Nicard form Anthony Knack. The jewelry the two create is quite unique in the industry.
Take somewhat traditional materials, silver, gemstones, in some cases gold, and then we put them together in a totally different way. They're almost woven together like fabric.
Anthony Knack is doing so well that even Neiman Marcus picked up the line this year, and that's a big deal for any jeweler, especially one who's less than a year old.
To get an account like Neiman Marcus, who only takes on very few designers because of the way that they present their product, it's basically like getting real estate in a store. They only have so much space.
The partners promote Anthony Knack as a label and may eventually move into designing handbags, shoes, and even clothes. But for now, it's the jewelry that's defining the business.
It's very feminine, but yet it's very strong looking at the same time. The receptiveness of the customer base has just been phenomenal. I think that we're filling a void within the void that was there in fashion jewelry.
And currently, that void is providing a good market. Anthony Knack expects to sell $500,000 in jewelry this year. Paul Greenway, News 8, Austin.
Anthony Knack says it looks forward to a long-term relationship with Neiman Marcus. Every Monday, the News 8 Austin Business Report profiles area entrepreneurs who are helping to put the capital city on the map.
Today's Business Report is brought to you by Classic Automotive. Get closer to a classic. Exit 254, Round Rock.
Easy come, easy go. The NASDAQ roared to a new high last week. Funny the difference a weekend can make. I'm Kevin Benz with today's After the Bell report. Tech stocks started the day in the red and just kept falling. As you'd expect, investors took some profits this morning after last week's rise, but the buyers never jumped back in. Why? Well, oil is continuing its surge to two-year highs. Today it jumped 67 cents to 24.22 after comments from OPEC early this afternoon. The dollar has continued its weakening, and tomorrow retail sales figures will be released. Then Wednesday, the August Consumer Price Index will come out. Well, who wants to buy into all those variables? Some big local news today as word on the street has Motorola rumored to buy General Instruments, the nation's largest supplier of cable TV set-top boxes. It would be a $10 billion deal, and it sent Motorola's stock into the dumper, dropping almost 10% to 90 3/8. The deal could give Motorola a strong cable internet presence, though. Looking at the Dow, it stuck its head above water in the last minutes of trading, finishing up almost 2. The NASDAQ started low, got lower, ending down 42. The S&P finished off 8. Beginning today and every day, we'll bring you Austin's most extensive coverage of local stocks. And here's an after-the-bell look at how our Central Texas companies did.
It's better channels, digital picture, and CD quality sound. Plus a new, easy-to-use on-screen guide with on-channel banners that tell you what you're watching now and 7 days of program listings that help you plan your future. All this without missing a moment and no additional equipment to buy. From the leader in entertainment comes the latest in entertainment technology.
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it for making faster connections or better connections? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable, and it's here. Roadrunner connects to the internet through your cable line instead of your phone line, so you're always connected. No more dialing in and no more busy signals. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
The best thing is, they weren't even my pants.
All season long, it's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling football under the lights. It's ESPN Sunday Night Football.
The Dogs are back, and you know what that means. ESPN Sunday Night Football all season long.
Today's Weekend Planner is brought to you by Simply Wireless. Keep it simple.
18 minutes past the hour. Well, we experienced one of the coolest days we've seen in months. Temperatures 5 to 10 degrees off where we've seen them, but actually it really is right around where we should be. Let's turn to your maps. A cold front pushed through from North Texas today all the way through Austin, Texas. And the bad news is it didn't have a whole lot of moisture with it. Look at that nice batch of showers and thunderstorms around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Then we saw a nice little shower pop up in San Antonio. For us, just a little pocket of rain in Pflugerville, and off towards the west side, some folks in Round Rock saw a trace or two. But at the airport and folks in Travis County, they saw officially nothing. Turning to the tropics, things are getting quite complicated as we check out Hurricane Gert Really not a concern right now, but it's out there. Hurricane Floyd, though, packing quite a major punch. A very serious and strong Category 4. If it goes 1 more mile per hour, it's a Category 5. Tracking west at 16 miles per hour. There's the coordinates right now battering the Bahamas. As it starts to move, you can see a well-defined eye. Pressure in this thing is dropping, so it's gaining strength as it starts to turn toward the coast of Florida. Of course, Governor Bush has declared Florida a state of emergency. Here's a couple of the things that may play out. Big trough starting to scoot to the east. As it does, we hope it just takes Floyd and kicks it back out to sea. Another model showing it running right through Florida, and another one showing it coming on the coast and then shooting straight up toward the Carolina coast. These things have a mind of their own, and it's anybody's guess right now as to what this thing can do. Just to give you an idea how big Floyd is, it's over 3 times the size of Hurricane Andrew, which smacked into Florida back in '92. We look at the jet stream this time of year because it starts to retrograde to the south, and as it does, all the fronts that come on shore typically have a better chance and pack more of a punch as they head towards central Texas. For us, the front washes out, high pressure builds in, and we've got another front from the Pacific Northwest on our doorstep Thursday into Friday. We'll keep you posted on that as well. Mother Nature not holding out a whole lot of hope. She keeps most of the rainfall up in the Panhandle and brings it down about as far south, maybe around the Austin area. Again, with the daytime heating in the afternoon, can't rule out a slight thunderstorm or 2. Look at the contrast in temperatures. 53 for Amarillo tonight, 73 for Corpus Christi. For us, we'll go 63 to 66 under mostly cloudy skies. And it looks like the northeasterly winds prevail at 10 miles per hour. We'll have your 5-day forecast coming up.
Time now for the Charles Mond Toyota Sports Report.
The Longhorns get ready to cook rice this weekend. Here's News 8 Sports' David Marcus with the lowdown on the Longhorns.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Charles Mond Sports Report here on News 8 Austin. We look forward to bringing you all kinds of Central Texas sports coverage, some athletes and sports you've heard of, and perhaps some you haven't. We're glad you're coming along for the ride. Well, chances are you have heard of Major Applewhite and the Texas Longhorns. The Slingin' sophomore is certainly one of the hottest quarterbacks in the country, having thrown for more than 200 yards in 13 straight games. Expect more Rice-A-Roni treats against the Rice Owls on Saturday at Royal Memorial. Major's now getting everyone involved. Montrell Flowers is starting to blossom as the solid second number 2 beside Kwame Cavill. If the Texas D can ground the ground-happy Owls, this offense should explode again. But the Horns certainly taking nothing for granted.
But offensively, we want to send a message early. We want to send a message that we're going to score early and we're going to score often. So that's what we're trying to do.
It is a crazy world out there right now in college football. And what we better do is we better play as hard as you can play every week. And if you get a W, you can be excited. And if you get an L, you need to be sick.
Oh, no need to be sick on Saturday because the apple does not fall far from the target these days. It's one big reason the Horns are rolling, and we'll have much more on the Rice game coming up later. Let's serve up some volleyball now, and the Westwood Warriors, the top-ranked team in the state, rolling right now with a 21-1 record. But Coach Zula Bland not happy. She wanted to be 22-0. Big hopes. That hope was quashed last Friday with the team's first loss coming to Leander. They also lost the team's leader in kills right there, outside hitter Gretchen France. May as well be in France. She's out with a sprained ankle. So the Warriors have to rebound without her, but it's not easy being the top-ranked team in the state.
I think Austin will be ready, Westlake, all the teams that we're playing. I think they'd love to knock off number 1. That's what everybody wants to do. That's what I want to do.
We're not actually big, but we can kill the ball. Defense, like I said, we need to work on, but offensively, I think that's definitely an advantage.
Lot of tall girls. Westwood hosting Austin High Tuesday night at 7. The Lady Maroons are just 8-12 on the season. That is it for now. Much more coming up in an hour right here on News 8 Austin.
News 8 Sports is brought to you by Charles Mond Toyota, the only family-owned and operated Toyota dealership in
Every half hour on News 8 Austin, we bring you up to date on what's happening across the nation and around the world. Now we take you beyond Texas. In Florida, Governor Jeb Bush has issued a state of emergency. Along the state's east coast, people are not waiting until the last minute. They're getting ready for Hurricane Floyd, which is now a strong Category 4 storm with winds around 150 miles per hour. The grocery stores are packed, so are the hardware stores. Some have run out of storm supplies. Many people are gathering plywood to board up their windows. Others on the shore are filling sandbags to protect their property. And many people are stocking up their pantries. News 8 will bring you updated information on the hurricane throughout the night with weather on the 8s. A chemical fire forced the evacuation of a 4-block area in Kent, Washington. The chemical plant distributes alcohol, acetone, and paint thinner. Black smoke from the blaze could be seen for miles. Nobody was seriously injured in the fire. In East Timor, some 300,000 refugees are hiding from bands of militia. Hundreds of refugees have been flown to Australia, and there's word the UN and Australia are planning to airdrop food to refugees in East Timor. Indonesia has okayed a peacekeeping force, and President Clinton, who's at the Pacific Summit, says the United States will support that force with some troops. Tourists in Mexico could be bugged over what they're finding in local restaurants. At one time, it was a meal made for the poor, but now bugs are a popular dish. There are nearly 4,000 species of edible insects in the world, and nearly 400 of them live in Mexico. The insects are boiled in lemon, seasoned with chili, or fried in olive oil. Then you can chase it with tequila that has a worm in it.
For questions and comments on News 8 Austin programming, please email us at feedback8@news8austin.com.
More only matters when it's more of what you want. That's why we haven't just added more channels, but more choices. The selections you've asked for, the options you can't get anywhere else. Plus a new easy-to-use on-screen guide, digital picture, and CD quality sound. All with no additional equipment to buy. What's the name of the service that brings you all this and more?
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it the fastest vehicle on the information superhighway? Or the best home entertainment system in the world? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With advanced cable modem technology, it's much faster than dial-up online services. So less time waiting and more time enjoying. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
HGTV's most inspiring original series, Restore America with Bob Vila.
It's people with a passion coming together to preserve the past for future generations. Every Sunday night, we'll visit a different state and hear the stories behind some of the country's most extraordinary restoration projects. Join me for this unprecedented new series, Restore America.
For renovations of historic proportions, join HGTV every Sunday.
28 minutes past the hour. Well, we had a taste of fall today as the clouds started to thicken. A cool front pushed through. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of moisture to work with, but we did see some pretty gusty winds. Take a look around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They got a nice cluster line of thunderstorms roll through before they fell apart. But as they started to come towards central Texas, they pretty much fell apart. We just got a sprinkle. Our folks in San Antonio, they saw a nice little shower rumble through, but by and large, I think we had some reports of just a trace of inch over in Pflugerville and on the west side of town and into northern portions of Round Rock, and so we got teased again and ripped off by Mother Nature. As we turn to the tropics, this is Hurricane Floyd. Look at the well-designed eye as it moves to the west at about 16 miles per hour. There's Florida. Governor Jeb Bush has declared a state of emergency, and this thing is packing quite a punch. The central pressure is lowering, and anytime that happens in a hurricane, it starts to really gain strength. A well-defined eye, and just to give you an idea, it's 3 times the size of what Hurricane Andrew was when it smacked through the coast of Florida back in '92. There's the coordinates if you're tracking it. We've got a hurricane behind it. We will keep a close eye on this and let you know its coordinates over the next 24 to 36 hours, where it's going, what it's doing. As far as the rain gauges goes, nothing at the airport today. We're pretty much on track for the year, just a trace for the month. So we're under an inch where we need to be. Mother Nature not holding out a whole lot of hope as high pressure starts to build in tomorrow. Most of the rain showers to the north, but you can't rule out a stray afternoon thunderstorm. Also most of the showers to the south. The south hasn't seen the front push through, so they'll bottom out at 73, 53 for folks in the Pacific Northwest. We sit in the mid-60s with an uneventful evening. Stay with us.
You're watching News 8 Austin, a Time Warner Cable exclusive community service.
The trial of a man accused of one of Austin's worst crimes has begun. Luis Castro Perez is charged with killing 2 Austin women and a 9-year-old girl a year ago. Police say Perez murdered 30-year-old Frances Michelle Fulweiler, 38-year-old Cinda Ray Bars, and her daughter Stacy in their Barton Hills home. Investigators say Perez was dating one of the women. Defense attorneys say they'll prove the investigation only focused on Perez when they think there's another suspect responsible. The trial is expected to last about 3 weeks. Pollution problems are causing big headaches for people in Hays County. According to the Clean Air Force, people commuting between San Antonio and Austin are to blame. The group, which analyzes air quality, says if congestion continues, Hays County will probably not meet federal air pollution regulations, and that would mean stricter enforcement by the beginning of next year. The summer allergy season's over, but doctors say to get ready because the fall ragweed season's starting. The weed can be found just about everywhere in central Texas, and if you're allergic to it, you'll be sneezing with watery eyes, itching ears and throat. Ragweed can grow to be 15 to 20 feet tall and produce king-sized pollen counts. When that happens, allergy doctors recommend medicines like antihistamines to control the allergies. Ragweed season lasts until mid-November, but allergy sufferers won't be out of the woods then. Cedar fever season begins just a few weeks later. Austin has considered changing to single-member council districts several times in the last decade, and voters may get to decide one more time. Minority communities generally feel underrepresented on the council. And now, as News 8 Austin's Phil Kahn tells us, a recent study shows that most city council members have indeed come from one part of town.
Thank you all for the time and effort.
Austinites currently pick their city council from the entire city, a process that's known as at-large elections. It's been that way since the city was founded, but now some critics say it unfairly stacks the city council with members from certain parts of town, and now they want to change.
It's about time that we sit down at the table and carve out some neighborhood districts so that each area could be better represented in this large, growing metropolitan area.
A recent study by city demographers shows that 2/3 of city council members over the past 25 years have come from the same general part of town, the Northwest.
In fact, 3 of Austin's recent mayors have come from this affluent Tarrytown neighborhood. But it's not just minorities or lower socioeconomic groups who say they're excluded from Austin's political life. Thousands of people who live in Northwest Austin say they're also victims of taxation without representation.
They don't represent all of Austin. They just represent the downtown core of Austin, around the UT area and down there. They don't represent us out here.
Mike Borden speaks for many of the 27,000 people who live in the recently annexed part of Northwest Austin, all the way on the other side of town, but feeling just as alienated as those who live in South Austin.
We're mainly Christian, we're mainly conservative, we're mainly Republican. The city council that we have right now is mainly a Democrat-type city council. They don't really, I would say, believe in the same principles and ideas that we believe in.
Austin's Charter Revision Committee is expected to recommend at least some single-member districts to the City Council later this month. If approved, those changes could be sent to voters as early as January. Phil Kahn, News 8, Austin.
The issue of single-member districts has come before the city 4 times in the last 25 years, only to be defeated by voters each time. It's called a community closet, and it pretty much looks like one. A national retailer is opening this closet to thousands of women who are just getting off welfare. As News 8 Austin's Jenny Hansen explains, the goal is to give the women confidence when they enter the workforce.
You need to slow down, baby.
Crossing guard Diana Perez recently got off welfare, and she has big plans. Soon she hopes she'll be working inside this school as a teacher's aide.
You ready, baby? Let's go.
Of course, she can't wear her crossing guard uniform, and that's where Mervyn steps in.
When they told us that we were going to be shopping, it was just, it was flabbergasting. What? Free clothes?
You get one of our silk shirts, either the lilac or the ivory shirt.
Diana is one of more than 1,000 women chosen from Mervin's Community Closet program, helping women who recently got off welfare get back into the workforce.
They're getting us prepared to get out there, you know, feel confident.
We're teaching our children, the team members' children, to reach out to the community in everything they do.
To help people like Diana who want to make a difference in our community.
You know, you want to go to these interviews and you want to look, you know, you want to look professional.
Jenny Hansen, News 8 Austin.
To qualify for the program, women have to turn in paperwork to their caseworkers and be approved by the Texas Workforce Commission. Community Closet clothed 1,000 women in 1998. Organizers hope to do the same by the end of this year. Leander and Cedar Park school districts are rallying students against drugs. More than 6,300 students gathered Monday morning for an anti-drug pep rally. Leander and Cedar Park both have anti-drug groups, but now students will be able to sign up for voluntary drug testing.
Everybody wants to take the stand that, oh, I don't do drugs. Now, I might hang out somewhere where that stuff's going on, but I think that maybe it'll kick in after a while and somebody will say, really, I'm tired of a hypocritical life and I'm going to try to clean up. And I think that you might see the party life go down through it.
I think that once they see people getting into drug testing, that they'll start doing it too. I think that it's almost an excuse to not do drugs so that they can say, well, I can't do that because I'm going to be drug tested, or just a way to say that I'm not going to do this and to prove to our community that we don't want drugs in our school.
Student leaders say neither school has a drug problem and they want to keep it that way. Now let's head over to News 8 Austin's Denise Menard, who's in our Interactive Viewer Center.
Welcome to News 8 Austin's Interactive Viewer Center. Every day we invite you to be a part of our newscast. We ask you to think about and respond to questions and concerns that surround our community and our world. Our interactive phone line and email address is dedicated solely to accepting your responses. Our question for you today: voluntary drug testing of children who attend school in the Leander Independent School District. Do you feel that school-age children grades 6 through 12 should be randomly tested for drugs? If you'd like to respond, you can call us here at News 8 Austin. Our phone number is area code 512-531-8080. And our email address is viewer@news8austin.com. We welcome your responses.
How do you describe a new entertainment experience that gives you more?
Selection.
Dozens of new channels and more program choices than ever before.
Clarity.
Sounds so vibrant, it's CD quality.
Control.
A new, easy-to-use on-screen guide. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but only one word can describe a picture like this.
Digital.
Now in Austin, digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to What's Next.
Will it free your mind or free your phone line? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With Roadrunner's advanced cable modem technology, you don't need a second phone line. And you won't tie up the one you have now. Sounds good, huh? To order Roadrunner today, call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
Totally original, absolutely on fire. Original series on Time Warner Cable.
Award-winning. Action-packed. Off the wall. Riveting. Provocative. Mind-bending. Groundbreaking.
Original series from America's hottest networks. Value you can see every day, every week. On Time Warner Cable.
Today's commuter forecast is brought to you by Town North Nissan Mitsubishi, where volume selling saves you money.
Coming up on 38 minutes past the hour, well, we finally get a relief from the heat. Tonight we're down to 64, tomorrow mostly cloudy. Top out at 82, and then tomorrow night pretty much a carbon copy of tonight. Nevertheless, we had a cool front roll through and finally cool us down. Unfortunately, didn't have a whole lot of moisture with it, and we saw a nice big batch of thunderstorms around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, out to the west and down in portions of San Antonio. For us, little to nothing. Just a trace out and about, but nothing officially at the airport. We've got our eyes on the tropics right now. This, of course, is the hurricane that is starting to move in a northwesterly direction at 14 miles an hour, really packing a punch. Category 4, pressure lowering, starting to gain strength. And as Floyd starts to move towards the eastern seaboard, all eyes are out as to what will happen, currently smacking the Bahamas right now. For us, not a whole lot of chances for rain, mainly up to the north and down to the south. This is what it's supposed to feel like this time of year today. 90 over 68 last night. Hopefully that trend continues. But look at the contrast in temperature. 73 for Corpus Christi, 53 for Amarillo. For us, anywhere from 62 to 65. There's your all-important 5-day forecast. Daytime highs in the 80s, overnight lows in the 60s.
Waiting around at an airport is never fun. Well, almost never, unless you're at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. As News 8 Austin's John Fries found out, there's something about the airport that's not being done anywhere else in the country. And that's music to travelers' ears.
It's a live concert in the most unusual place. Tunes echoing throughout the terminal at Bergstrom International.
It's great. Certainly great. I mean, I don't know that there's any place else that I've ever been in an airport where we actually got to hear this kind of music. It's great stuff.
Arnold Williams grabbed a front row seat while he waited for his luggage to catch up with him in Austin.
I had no idea that we had this set up here in Austin, man. This is absolutely great.
Especially if you find yourself with a little time on your hands.
Definitely, especially when they're delayed a half hour.
But for Arnold, the entertainment is well worth the wait.
I've been away from the city all week, and to come back, and this is why we call Austin home.
So whether your flight's delayed, your friends are stuck in Chicago, or they just can't find your luggage, I think anyone would agree there are far worse ways to spend your time at an airport. John Fries, News 8 Austin.
You can hear the live music on Friday and Sunday nights starting at 7 p.m. Airport executives say the music's just another way to remind folks that Austin is the live music capital of the world. The numbers are in, and there are a lot more minorities enrolling in the University of Texas. There are more African Americans, Hispanic, and Asian American freshmen going to UT for the '99 fall semester. That's despite the Hopwood ruling in 1996 that ended race-based admissions at UT. Here are the differences in freshman enrollment from last fall. There are more than 43% more African Americans at the university, and more than 9% increase in Hispanic students. Along with that, there's more than 7% more Asian Americans at the university. The university's director of admissions says the top 10% bill has helped create that diversity. The bill says if a student's in the top 10% of his class, he'll be accepted. The total fall enrollment at UT is just over 49,000. That's just slightly up from last year's total, but the university thinks that's good enough to retain its ranking as the largest single-campus institution in the country. In Copperas Cove, one man's trash is another man's treasure, or in this case, his house. This house was recently built for U.S. Army Sergeant Robert Portillo. He won the rights to the home back in 1997 after recycling the most cans and motor oil. The house is exactly like any other home, except the outside is built entirely with recycled construction materials, and the carpet inside is woven with plastic from grocery sacks. It's the first ever American Green Dream House.
We have a beautiful deck out back that was built from the plastic bags that we all recycle at the grocery store, plastic bags and sawdust. We have steel framing in the house. We have a steel roof on the house.
The carpet is made from more than 80,000 plastic soda bottles, and the siding is recycled aluminum. Portillo will let his daughter and her family live in the house until he retires from the military. Right now, he's stationed in Saudi Arabia. The Austin Lyric Opera's new building is being constructed with recycled materials. It's part of Austin Energy's Green Building program to make sure it is resource and energy efficient. Program manager Richard Morgan says it's an idea that's growing in popularity.
The entire first floor will use exposed concrete as flooring. That'll save on the use of any carpet or tile or anything like that. The second and third floors will be, the carpet will be carpet tiles, which can be actually changed out as they wear and traded in for new tiles, carpet tiles.
Morgan says because the building sits over the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone, the parking lot will be built so runoff water is filtered before it flows back into the aquifer. Austin's history has been built on its water. The The Austin History Center is offering a new exhibit and lecture series on the city's water supply. From creeks to the Edwards Aquifer, speakers will look at the story behind the water. You can catch the lectures on Wednesday, September 15th at 5:30 in the Austin History Center. The lecture is free and open to the public. The summer allergy season's over, but doctors say get ready because the fall ragweed season's just starting. News 8 Austin's Shelley Crenshaw spoke with an allergy specialist who says to get ready for more sneezing. That story in today's Health Beat.
It can be found just about everywhere in central Texas.
Ragweed is a major pollen. It's produced in such large amounts here that it's very potent pollen, so people who are allergic to ragweed they can have a lot of problems.
Like sneezing, watery eyes, itchy ears, and throats. Ragweeds can grow to be at least 15 to 20 feet tall.
You can generally spot the unsightly plant because it grows along the freeway or in unlandscaped areas like this one.
And they can produce king-size pollen counts to make life miserable for allergy sufferers.
You see people sitting in the waiting room with tissues in the hand, and you already know what they're there for.
They're at the Allergy and Asthma Center in Austin to get treatment.
You know, I've been taking shots, have them once a week, and it's sort of pain in the butt doing it every time.
6-year-old Alex Jenkins doesn't have a choice when it comes to his twice-a-week allergy shots. Otherwise, he'd get sick.
It makes me sneezy, cough, and a runny nose.
Dr. Lieberman says he's not busy yet. It's just a matter of time.
Someone turned the faucet on. One day the phones just start ringing off the hook, and you know it.
Lieberman says pollen counts can shoot up to extremely high levels. When that happens, he says take preventive medicines like antihistamines to control allergies and consult your doctor. Shelley Crenshaw, News 8 Austin.
Ragweed season lasts until mid-November, but then allergy sufferers won't be out of the woods. Cedar fever starts just a few weeks later. You can see News 8 Austin's Health Beat every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll be bringing you stories about the latest health news, medical developments, wellness programs, nutrition, and fitness.
For questions and comments on News 8 Austin programming, please email us at feedback8@news8austin.com.
It's better channels, digital picture, and CD quality sound. Plus a new, easy-to-use on-screen guide with on-channel banners that tell you what you're watching now and 7 days of program listings that help you plan your future. All this without missing a moment and no additional equipment to buy. From the leader in entertainment comes the latest in entertainment technology.
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it for making faster connections or better connections? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable, and it's here. Roadrunner connects to the internet through your cable line instead of your phone line, so you're always connected. No more dialing in and no more busy signals. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
The best thing is, they weren't even my pants.
All season long, it's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling football under the lights. It's ESPN Sunday Night Football.
The Dogs are back, and you know what that means. ESPN Sunday Night Football all season long.
Coming up on 48 minutes past the hour, this is the last official week of summer. Mother Nature finally decides to turn down the thermometer on us. Let's turn to our maps and we'll show you what's going on. Here's your fast cast, down to 64 tonight under mostly cloudy skies. The good news is, folks, we're finally seeing that northeasterly flow, and that will keep things cooler and drier for us. The front plowed through today and unfortunately didn't have the moisture with it we really needed. Most of the heaviest rain showers around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and sliding off to East Texas. And then our friends down in San Antonio picked up a brief shower or two. Nothing really for us, just a trace, but all eyes now again on the tropics. We've got Hurricane Gert. Not too worried about that. The big concern right now is Hurricane Floyd. 3 times the size of Hurricane Andrew, if you remember when Andrew smacked into the Florida coast back in '92. Currently, maximum sustained winds 150 miles per hour, chugging towards the west at 16 miles per hour. This could affect a whole lot of people. So we'll keep our eye on it for you the next couple days. As we go closer, you can see a very well-defined eye. The Bahamas are getting smacked right now. But the one thing we keep seeing is the pressure in this thing. The central pressure is dropping. As the central pressure drops, it gains strength, and it also gains strength as it enters warmer waters. For us, Mother Nature not holding out a whole lot of hope, although we could see a slight shower tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures today, we topped out at 90 over 68. That's what it's supposed to feel like, and we haven't felt that in months. Overnight lows, 53 for Amarillo, 73 as the front tries to slide through. For portions of Corpus Christi, we'll go 62 to 65. There's your all-important 5-day forecast.
Now that News 8 Austin has arrived, you may be wondering what we're all about. News 8 Austin's Todd Boatwright has a behind-the-scenes look at the product we bring you.
Here we go, and 3, 2, 1.
This is your news now.
And with that, Austin's only 24-hour local news channel is on the air. It's an operation boasting a lot of people, from production crews to the largest news staff in the city. News 8 Austin says it's a different approach to local news, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, here we go. The biggest difference, I think, is that there's no other concerns aside from news. It's all news. It's not like you're worried about Oprah or sitcoms or trying to fit everything into a half an hour.
The concept that we are a 24-hour local news channel, this hasn't been done many other places in the United States. So it is a unique and rewarding challenge, and the fact that we are able to bring the community 24-hour local news, things that affects them, their communities, their families.
To make it all happen, computers rule, from news writing to story editing to the final product you see at home. It's one of the most high-tech stations in the country, something new that can be a challenge.
It says take full screen over Bob's. The transition in technology, I can't even begin to tell you how difficult that was at first, but once you get used to it, it's kind of like riding a bike.
So News 8 Austin has the largest news staff in the city, plus some high-tech tools. The question remains, how do you fill a 24-hour day with local news?
And, you know, the concept is it's not 24 hours worth of news. It's news at your convenience. So when you tune in, there's an hour worth of news. That's what you need.
Okay, and now let's go to IUT Childcare now.
News 8 Austin says it trades in hype for substance and the ability to go live with breaking news any time of the day. The emphasis is on community and its needs. You've probably heard about us for months. Now News 8 Austin is on the air with your news now. Todd Boatwright, News 8 Austin.
News 8 Austin also has one of the most advanced live vans in the city. It's all digital, allowing us to bring you breaking news any time of the day. Board of Trustees for the Austin Independent School District is talking tonight about a hike in property taxes. They're also getting some feedback from people who live in the Austin School District. The proposal comes from AISD Superintendent Pat Forgione. If the new property tax rate is passed, it would mean the owner of an Austin home appraised at $125,000 could expect to pay an extra $200 a year in taxes. We asked some Austinites how they felt about that proposal.
Teachers have never been paid what they should be paid, as far as I'm concerned. So, again, I'm open to it, but I'd need to know more.
Yeah, because, you know, education is very high expensive, you know, so I think it's, you know, it's good too for the education. I like, you know, I mean, I'm glad it will be, I think it's a good idea.
The Austin Independent School Board is expected to make a decision on that property tax hike later tonight. Austinites who depend on Department of Housing and Urban Development programs could soon have to look elsewhere. The House Monday voted overwhelmingly to slash HUD's budget by $1.6 billion, which translates to a loss of $3 million for Austin. HUD officials claim the cuts mean Austin could lose 303 public housing units, 186 jobs funded by economic development programs, and 54 homeless and people with AIDS would receive help. The plan also means other Texas cities would lose even more public housing money. Dallas stands to lose $8.8 million, Houston $9.8 million, and San Antonio $10.1 million. The Senate still needs to vote on the measure. The total budget for HUD last year was $26 billion. There's a whole world wide web of information out there, but if you need help surfing the information superhighway, we have a tour guide. Every day, News 8 Austin will show you a new website you might want to check out in Web Sightings. Today's site is a fun one for girls. Tina Nelson has a look at planetgirl.com.
Today we're going to look at Austin Girl Games, planetgirl.com. It's a teen girl's dream site. It's got lively colors, it's easy to navigate. You can do some fun things in the games section like the magnetic poetry drag and drop. You can also check your horoscope or go to the relationship section and ask Grandpa Bud about all those pesky boy problems. My favorite section is in reality, Pixel's World, where she shows you how to solve everyday problems with cool technology. I'm Tina Nelson for News 8 Austin. If you've got a site you'd like for us to check out, drop us an email at websightings@news8austin.com.
Today's Web Sightings is brought to you by David McDavid Acura. This brand stands for savings.
Coming up, weather on the 8s and the hour's top stories. I'm Bob Branson. Thanks for being with us. You're watching News 8 Austin, your news now.
More only matters when it's more of what you want. That's why we haven't just added more channels, but more choices. The selections you've asked for, the options you can't get anywhere else. Plus a new easy-to-use on-screen guide, digital picture, and CD quality sound. All with no additional equipment to buy. What's the name of the service that brings you all this and more?
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it the fastest vehicle on the information superhighway? Or the best home entertainment system in the world? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With advanced cable modem technology, it's much faster than dial-up online services. So less time waiting and more time enjoying. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
HGTV's most inspiring original series, Restore America with Bob Vila.
It's people with a passion coming together to preserve the past for future generations. Every Sunday night, we'll visit a different state and hear the stories behind some of the country's most extraordinary restoration projects. Join me for this unprecedented new series, Restore America.
For renovations of historic proportions, join HGTV every Sunday.
Coming up on 58 minutes past the hour, one of the coolest days we've experienced in months today as we topped out only at 90. Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy, slight chance of rain and 30% northeasterly winds, and that's where we start to feel the cool down. Our upper air pattern has shifted to the northeast versus the south. We'll bottom out at 64. And little to no chance of rain tomorrow because high pressure again starting to reestablish itself across the region. Let's turn to the tropic where things are really getting sticky. This is Hurricane Floyd, a very strong Category 4 moving right now due westerly at 16 miles per hour. It's currently 340 miles south-southeast of Palm Beach, Florida. There's a couple different scenarios that are coming into play. This big trough digging in with the cold front extended, we're hoping that it starts to push out quick enough to catch Floyd and kick it back out towards sea. If it doesn't, it could plow over central Florida. It could come on shore and then turn due north. But as you remembered with Hurricane Dennis, these things have a mind of their own. Jet stream this time of year starts to sag to the south. Therefore, all the storms that come on shore follow the course of the jet, and they start to pack more of a punch also. So we should be cooling down, if not by default, because heck, we're already into September. High pressure settles in, the front starts to track off to the east, and then another front's on the way. We'll keep an eye on it and let you know exactly where how it will affect us. No delays across the country except portions of southern Florida tomorrow. For us, we're just going to be bottoming out, it looks like, in the mid-60s. We'll have your 5-day forecast coming up.
It's 8 o'clock. This is your news now.
Would you be willing to pay $200 a year in order to help Austin schools? We'll tell you about the Austin Independent School Board's tax hike. Testimony will continue today in the trial of Luis Castro Perez. He's accused of committing one of Austin's worst crimes. We'll tell you what happened in court. More help could be on the way for area firefighters in their battle against brush fires. We'll tell you what you can do to keep your home safe.
From Austin's only 24-hour local news channel, with your news now. You're watching News 8 Austin this morning.
Good morning. I'm Denise Menard, and you're watching News 8 Austin on this Tuesday, September 14th. Here's what's making news at this hour. Your property taxes will be going up about $200 a year if you own a home here in Austin. Last night, Austin School Superintendent Pat Forgione voted to approve a 12-cent tax hike. A spokesperson with AISD says this is the highest tax increase the district has seen in 10 years. The $17 million raised from the increase will go toward updating outdated technology and hiring additional clerks in order to keep better track of dropout rates. The AISD tax rate remains lower than most other districts. Firefighters in Bastrop will get help today in fighting wildfires. Someone has set more than 30 wildfires in the area. Authorities have arrested one man they believe to be an arsonist and are looking for others who could also be responsible. News 8 Austin's Haley Stefanoa is on scene in Bastrop to tell us more. Good morning, Haley.
That's right. It has been a rough season here in Bastrop for firefighters and volunteer firefighters. Lots of fires due to the heat and the dry weather. But to tell us a little bit more is Gene Madden, who's joining us this morning. Now, it has been a very rough season, would you say, for firefighters?
It's been very busy, particularly in the last week and a half to 2 weeks.
Now, one man was arrested and charged for arson. Do you believe that there are other suspects out there?
Well, we believe that there are one or more individuals that are responsible for the majority of the other wildland fires that have occurred here in the past 2 to 3 weeks.
Now, what would you say has been the biggest problem for firefighters? The heat, or do they need better equipment?
Well, one problem has been those suspicious fires. Certainly, we don't like that to occur. But you're right, the dry conditions that are pervasive throughout central Texas is a major concern to not only forestry officials, but firefighting agencies as well.
Thank you so much. Now today at 11 there will be an announcement made which all of the firefighters will be attending the meeting, and we will have a full report for you. Reporting, Haley Stefanoa, News 8 Austin.
Okay, thanks a lot, Haley. Austin firefighters now say they know what caused Monday's massive house fire on Bonham Terrace. They say the fire on Bonham Terrace was caused by electrical problems. This home erupted into flames shortly before noon yesterday, and dozens of firefighters worked to contain the blaze. Investigators say the house is a total loss. The trial of a man accused of a triple murder in Barton Hills continues today, and an emotional outburst yesterday got one of the victim's fathers barred from the trial. It happened as prosecutors showed photographs of one of the murdered women in the trial of Luis Castro Perez. Perez is charged in the killings of 30-year-old Frances Michelle Fulweiler, 38-year-old Cindy Ray Bars, and her daughter Stacy in their Barton Hills home. Investigators say Perez had dated one of the women and knew the other victims. Defense attorneys say Austin police only focused on Perez as a suspect. They think another person may be responsible. The trial is expected to last about 3 weeks. Austin police are still looking for a man who robbed a downtown bank yesterday. Witnesses say the man entered the Compass Bank on South Congress, showed a weapon, and then demanded money. A teller gave the man an unknown amount of cash. Other customers were in the bank at the time. Fortunately, no one was hurt. If you live in Austin, the way you elect your city council members could soon change. A new study released by the city's planning division shows 2/3 of Austin city council members have all come from the same general area of town, the Northwest. Critics want to change the single-member districts.
Definitely, we're just not represented out here. That's all there is to it. And there's a lot of other places in Austin that I feel that are not represented good. For instance, East Austin is not represented very well to me on the city council, and neither is Southeast Austin. I don't believe they're really represented. It's mainly downtown, the core center of Austin.
Austin's Charter Revision Committee is expected to recommend the change to city council members later this month. The issue could be sent to voters as early as January. Precious pets are usually considered part of the family, but what happens when your little one gets sick and your family vet is out of town? As News 8 Austin's Shani Walls explains, there are some clinics that are available to care for your pet when you need someone to care the most.
Heavy panting, broken leg. If your animal is sick, this is the emergency room to go to.
It's right there. And it went down through the muscle just a little bit, but it's just going to be a few simple sutures there and she'll be just fine.
There are 2 emergency animal clinics in Austin. The facilities are open when your vet is closed. So just about every type of emergency for just about every type of animal can be taken care of. There's 14 full-time veterinarians and double that for technical support. Equipment is state-of-the-art. Monitoring devices, x-rays, and EKGs. And all this equipment and expertise really comes into play when someone walks through these doors with a sick animal. Buddy is 5, a mixed breed of sorts, and Kyle Rader's best friend. He says the emergency animal clinic is a lifesaver.
It's like my kid being sick. You know, if I didn't have someplace to take him to when there was an emergency, it'd be rough.
The staff realizes how sick Buddy is and moves into action.
So what we're going to be doing, aside from the blood work that's already been done, is looking at his clotting to see if his blood is clotting right.
Emergency services are expensive, but there's no price tag on love.
That's the blood work that we've already done, okay? Hospitalization, these are the x-rays. You don't want me to go over all this with you?
No, I don't see anything on there that bothers me.
Okay.
Buddy receives 2 blood transfusions and is pumped full of antibiotics. He's going to make it.
Well, it's a very good thing that you brought him in.
Shani Walls, News 8 Austin.
There are 2 Austin locations. One is located on the northern end of town on Research Boulevard. The other is on South Lamar. The emergency animal hospitals are open Monday through Friday from 6:30 p.m. until 7 a.m. On weekends from 1 p.m. on Saturday until 7 a.m. on Monday. Hayes County commissioners are meeting today to talk about what roads will be built where over the next 25 years. The commissioners are expected to approve a new transportation plan. It includes improvements to State Highway 45, the addition of lanes on Farm Road 1626, and a center turn lane on Ranch Road 12. But the most controversial part of the proposal will be a new 4-lane highway that will link Highway 45 with Farm Road 150. That road will go through the middle of a 6,000-acre Rutherford ranch. That's where California builders Newhall Land and Farming would like to build a subdivision.
Well, good morning. It's now about 8 minutes past the hour, and as we take a look at your bus stop forecast, not too bad this morning. We're looking at mid-70s with fair skies and mild conditions. Winds have been picking up here within the last hour to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Right now, though, temperatures across the state very pleasant. 58 in Amarillo, 63 in Midland. Head a little further south from Del Rio across to Houston, and you'll find 70s, and that includes portions of Louisiana. But look at Little Rock right now, 62 degrees, very comfortable outside. Out at the airport, though, temperature right now is 72 degrees. The dew point is at 67 degrees. We're getting more of a spread on those temperatures, leaving us with less humidity. It's at 84% right now, so it's still a little on the muggy side as you head out the door with north winds at 8 miles per hour. Our temperature highs across the region today looking really good. Finally beginning to feel like autumn across the area. 76 in Amarillo, 83 out in the Permian Basin. Down south Texas, we're looking at 89. For tonight, though, temperatures are going to feel very nice through the evening hours. A bit on the crisper side in Amarillo at 54. Abilene, 61. San Antonio, 68. Well, coming up, we'll take a look at your weekend planner. But first, let's go ahead and go to Jabari Warfield with our News 8 Interactive Traffic Report. Jabari?
Well, good morning. Earlier I told you about an accident on westbound Highway 290 right where it hits Highway 183. We're in luck. It has cleared out, so looks like we've got traffic moving again on westbound on Highway 290. Of course, your traffic going to be heavy here because of construction in this particular area where 35 and Highway 290 meet. So you're going to find still some residual backup in this area, but once again, the accident has been cleared. On FM 969 at 973, about 3 miles east of 973 near the airport, Starflight is currently on the scene of a traffic accident in this area, so that's going to affect your traffic on 973 and FM 812. In addition, we've got other problems like southbound delays on Highway 183, and this is going to be for those of you traveling near Balcones Club up to about Hunter's Chase, southbound 183, pretty heavy. Also, for those of you near the Arboretum area and Great Hills Trail, all the way down up to about right around Research and Burnett, and heavy traffic on southbound Mopac and southbound I-35. We'll tell you more about that a little later on. I'm Jabari Warfield, News 8 Interactive Traffic.
Parents don't always have a choice on where to send their kids to school, but one local program is helping Austin's neediest families get the best education for their children. We'll tell you how in today's Education Report.
How do you describe a new entertainment experience that gives you more?
Selection.
Dozens of new channels and more program choices than ever before.
Clarity.
Sound so vibrant, it's CD quality.
Control.
A new, easy-to-use on-screen guide. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but only one word can describe a picture like this.
Digital.
Now in Austin, digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Will it free your mind? Or free your phone line? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With Roadrunner's advanced cable modem technology, you don't need a second phone line. And you won't tie up the one you have now. Sounds good, huh? To order Roadrunner today, call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
Totally original, absolutely on fire. Original series on Time Warner Cable.
Award-winning, action-packed, off the wall, riveting, provocative, mind-bending, groundbreaking.
Original series from America's hottest networks. Value you can see every day, every week on Time Warner Cable.
Here's a look at what's making news around the Lone Star State in our News 8 Austin, Texas Roundup. Testimony continues today in the trial of Lawrence Burr. He's the second of 3 men charged in killing James Byrd Jr. Byrd was dragged to death behind a pickup truck last June in Jasper. In opening statements on Monday, the prosecution described Burr as someone who sees himself as a hero for having killed a black man. One man in connection to the dragging death has already been given the death penalty. Burr could be sent to death row if convicted. Things should be back to normal at a Plano mall following an evacuation yesterday. Chlorine and a pool cleanser used to clean the decorative water fountains at Collin Creek Mall somehow got mixed together, causing chemical fumes to spread throughout parts of the building. At least 100 people became ill. Every week, News 8 Austin's Education Report showcases the trends and innovation in Austin education, from kindergarten to college, charter schools to community issues. Our Education Report shows you what's making the grade and what needs improving. School vouchers have been a hot topic, but while the debate goes on, one local private program has quietly been sending disadvantaged Austin kids to private schools for years. Education reporter Phil Kahn has more on the Children's Education Opportunity Foundation.
They were sinful, he didn't like them, and he was scared.
Olivia Gonzalez used to go to a public school, but thanks to a scholarship from Austin's Children's Educational Opportunity Foundation, she now attends St. Paul's Lutheran School. Olivia once had to take remedial classes, but her mother says that's all changed.
After 2 years at private school, she's reading almost up to her level, which is wonderful. Her self-esteem is shot up. She's no longer withdrawn. She's very active. She's self-confident. She has friends. She's doing really good now.
Children's Educational Opportunity, or CEO as it's known, is a private voucher program that gives low-income families up to $1,000 towards private school tuition. Often those dollars go to religious schools, but supporters say the issue isn't religion. The real issue is choice.
Sometimes you could say that a public school is better for the child than a private school. The question is, who makes that choice? The parents should make that choice because they know the child better than anyone else does.
In 1999, CEO gave out 31 scholarships so parents could send their children to private schools like St. Paul Lutheran. And while that may be good news for parents, others have a different opinion.
Vouchers are a very dangerous proposal for the public school system and for our society in general.
Renee Lara says vouchers aren't only unconstitutional but unnecessary. But he also adds that private voucher programs like CEO aren't at issue.
The issue here is whether or not we should allow public tax monies, revenue that comes from the public, to support individual religious instruction.
All this doesn't mean Olivia Gonzalez will get a better education, but what it does mean is she will get a choice. Phil Kahn, News 8, Austin.
If you'd like more information about the Children's Educational Opportunity Foundation, you can call the number that you see here on your screen. It's area code 512-472-0153. That number again is 512-472-0153.
For questions and comments on News 8 Austin programming, please email us at feedback8@news8austin.com.
It's better channels, digital picture, and CD quality sound. Plus a new, easy-to-use on-screen guide with on-channel banners that tell you what you're watching now and 7 days of program listings that help you plan your future. All this without missing a moment and no additional equipment to buy. From the leader in entertainment comes the latest in entertainment technology.
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it for making faster connections or better connections? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable, and it's here. Roadrunner connects to the internet through your cable line instead of your phone line, so you're always connected. No more dialing in and no more busy signals. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
The best thing is, they weren't even my pants.
All season long, it's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling football under the lights. It's ESPN Sunday Night Football.
The Dogs are back, and you know what that means. ESPN Sunday Night Football all season long.
Today's Weekend Planner is brought to you by Simply Wireless. Keep it simple.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Sandra Villalobos. Thank you for joining us this early, bright Tuesday morning. It's a little bit 18 past over the hour now. Taking a look at Floyd still packing a punch out in the Atlantic, moving over the northern Bahamas at this time, bringing hurricane status winds across the islands this morning. Unfortunately, it is still a very strong Category 4 hurricane. It is just on the edge of becoming a Category 5 by 1 mile per hour. This is a very large hurricane, as you can see, and this here is the Florida Peninsula. So those folks already seeing the effects of Floyd. Unfortunately, it's going to continue to move right now to the west-northwest. Here we have a cold front, though, that is beginning to sag a little further to the southeast. Hopefully this will actually steer this system into the seas. That's what at least we're hoping on for this time. Unfortunately, it will still affect portions of the southeast. For us, though, we have a high pressure that's moving in, and that's going to actually bring us some fairly nice conditions at this time. You can see that cold front designated by the drier air in the black color just to the west of that. To the east, you can see all the moisture, and it is moving off to the eastward now. But take a look at Floyd, still packing quite a punch with its movement. Our rainfall, a little closer to home, unfortunately didn't reach into the Austin area yesterday, but we are looking at another system already making its way in from the north. That'll actually trigger some showers this afternoon across the Panhandle. We may even see some showers across the southern part of the state today as this cold front continues to skirt off to the east. So it looks like all along the Rio Grande we may see some showers, but into tomorrow on the future radar, you see the heaviest showers now moving into the northern part of the Panhandle. As for us, well, here's a look at your fastcast today. We're looking at generally mid to upper 80s, very comfortable conditions now that the cold front is pushed through. Those northeasterly winds will continue to make it feel fairly nice outside this afternoon. For tonight, though, temperatures will be dropping into the lower 60s. Fair skies are expected again through the evening as the winds become light. But if you're making plans for the weekend, here's your Simply Wireless Weekend Planner. Looks like we're going to be generally in the lower 90s. That's right around the normals for this time of year. In through the weekend, we should see plenty of sunshine on Friday, becoming partly cloudy on Saturday and Sunday. Now, it looks like it's going to turn out to be a fairly nice day and through the rest of this week. But if you're doing any traveling, well, stay with us and we'll take a look at your travel forecast in less than 10 minutes.
Each morning here on News 8 Austin, we'll bring you a business report. It's called Word on the Street. Here's our financial reporter, Jill Bennett.
Good morning. I'm Jill Bennett, and this is the Fortune Business Report. Well, let's see if those internet stocks can bounce back after yesterday's downdraft. Now, America Online led the way south after a warning that industry price wars could hit the bottom line at some of the big high flyers. But there may be some hesitation in today's round ahead of tomorrow's government report on prices at the consumer level. Now, investors are waiting to see if there is any sign of inflation at the retail level. If there is, that may prompt the Federal Reserve to hike interest rates at their next meeting in October. Now, again, that's tomorrow, so investors may stay to the sidelines a bit today. We'll soon see. Now, by close yesterday, we had a mixed session. There was continued weakness in the U.S. dollars, which investors didn't seem to like too much because it simply means goods cost more. Now, let's take a quick check of the final numbers. You'll see the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished up nearly 2 points to begin today's trading at 11,030. And you'll see the Standard & Poor's 500 finished off 7.5 points. Now, the NASDAQ closed down 42 points there, starting today's round at 2844. Well, if you're looking for a place to park your money, you may have found it is often hard to figure out the best place for it, from mutual funds to stocks. How do you pick the winners? Well, Money Magazine is out with its second annual Picks for Individual Investors, and they tapped 10 all-star investors to tell us what they are investing in. Now, here's a sampling. William Miller, portfolio manager at Legg Mason Trust, likes mainframe companies, storage technology, trading in the 20s. He predicts it will go to 50. Now, well-known bull Abby Joseph Cohen over at Goldman Sachs likes mortgage giant Fannie Mae. Roger McNamee of Integral Capital Partners names tech stocks, including PMC Sierra, which makes chips for networking applications. He also invests in Lucent Technologies. And Pfizer is on Fayez Serafim's list. He's the Houston-based chairman of his own investment firm. But if you're in the market for mutual funds, Don Phillips of Fundraider Morningstar says his favorite value fund is the Clipper Fund. And for midcaps, his pick is Oakmark Select. Of course, there is always Fidelity's Peter Lynch, who didn't name any stocks or funds, just restated his well-known mantra, which is invest in what you know. Again, that is just a brief glimpse of what the investors are picking. If you want the full report, that issue of Money Magazine is on newsstands now. And for a more in-depth look at the people and businesses making news, you can access Fortune Magazine online at fortune.com. Enjoy your morning, everybody. I'm Jill Bennett for News 8 Austin.
Time now for the Charles Mont Toyota Sports Report.
The Longhorns look forward to steaming some rice this weekend at Royal Memorial Stadium, and the Broncos are steamed after a disappointing start to their season. David Marcus has more in Morning Sports.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Charles Mont Sports Report right here on News 8 Austin. I'm David Marcus. Well, the numbers don't lie, and the Big 12 doesn't lie down for anyone. Big 12 football teams outscored opponents by a whopping 300 points over the weekend. Longhorns played a big part, dropping Rutgers 38-21, but now it's time to whip up a little rice pudding. The Owls come to Royal Memorial on Saturday. They did put up a good fight against Michigan for a while until this guy got smacked. They still got pounded by 34 points. Quarterback Chad Richardson had better watch out. The Horns had feasted on quarterbacks the first 3 weeks of the season. Expect more rice-a-roni treats come Saturday.
Even though we're giving up some points, our expectations are some big plays. Our expectations are so much higher, and we've played 3 teams that can throw the ball. And that's really helping us, I think.
You know, we're going to do what we need to do to score. That's our job. It's whether we score 69 through passing or 69 through running, doesn't matter to us. We're in the business of scoring points.
It's a good business they're in. One great sign for Texas, the running game is off and running again. But Mac Brown says there is still room for improvement. Denver Broncos began the post-Elway era Monday night by saying goodbye to him. No one else will ever wear number 7 for Denver. His jersey retired at halftime, and then Elway's successor looked to retire the fish. Brian Greasy looking a lot like old number 7 here, finding Ed McCaffrey the 61-yard score. It is 7-0 Horses. This night belonged to another future Hall of Famer, Danny Marino, hooking up with Rob Conrad to give Miami a 14-7 lead. Life without John Elway. Broncos lose a regular season game at home for the first time in nearly 4 years. Dolphins beat the defending champs 38-21.
News 8 Sports is brought to you by Charles Mont Toyota, the only family-owned and operated Toyota dealership in Austin.
Weather on the 8th is next. Stay with us. More of the day's top stories are coming up right here on News 8 Austin.
More only matters when it's more of what you want. That's why we haven't just added more channels, but more choices. The selections you've asked for, the options you can't get anywhere else. Plus a new easy-to-use on-screen guide, digital picture, and CD quality sound. All with no additional equipment to buy. What's the name of the service that brings you all this and more?
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it the fastest vehicle on the information superhighway? Or the best home entertainment system in the world? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With advanced cable modem technology, it's much faster than dial-up online services. So less time waiting and more time enjoying. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
HGTV's most inspiring original series, Restore America with Bob Vila.
It's people with a passion coming together to preserve the past for future generations. Every Sunday night, we'll visit a different state and hear the stories behind some of the country's most extraordinary restoration projects. Join me for this unprecedented new series, Restore America.
For renovations of historic proportions, join HGTV every Sunday.
Well, good morning. morning. I'm meteorologist Sandra Villalobos. Thanks for joining us this bright and early morning. It's about 28 past the hour now, and as we take a tropical update as far as what's going on in the Atlantic, quite a busy season this has turned out to be after all. First of all, let's talk about Hurricane Gert, just way off into the Atlantic area, still not threatening anyone, but it is moving westward fairly fast, about 20 miles per hour, 75-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds. That we'll have to worry about later. First things first, Hurricane Floyd. Take a look at where it's at now. It's affecting the northern Bahamas at this time. The winds at the center, 155 miles per hour. That is categorized as a Category 4 hurricane. Very strong gusty winds involved with this. A lot of destruction expected. It is moving off to the west at 14 miles per hour at this time. Now, if you're doing any traveling for today, we may see some showers appear across the northern part of the state for us today, but this cold front will continue to trigger some showers across the mid-Atlantic, and of course, the southeast will begin to see the effects of Hurricane Floyd. So basically, your possibility of flight delays will be seen today, generally from the Panhandle, stretching into portions of Nevada, as well as the southeastern part of the U.S., the mid-Atlantic, and the very southern tip, thanks to that cold front that pushed through yesterday. As we take a look at your tropical update, though, we see a disturbance across the very southern part of the Gulf of Mexico, but if you're traveling anywhere along the Texas coastline, it looks like you're scot-free, at least for today. We may see some showers, as I mentioned, generally through the afternoon for the southern part of the state, but other than that, it looks pretty good if you're doing any traveling. Stay with us. We'll take a look at your forecast again in less than 10 minutes with weather on the 8s.
You're watching News 8 Austin, a Time Warner Cable exclusive community service.
Good morning. I'm Denise Menard. Here are today's top stories on this Tuesday, September 14th. Austin property owners will pay more to help children. On Monday, the Austin Independent School District voted on a 12-cent tax increase, which means you, as a property owner, will pay an extra $200 a year. $17 million is expected to be raised. This is the first increase in 10 years. The trial for a man accused of one of Austin's worst crimes continues today. Luis Castro Perez is charged with killing 2 Austin women and a 9-year-old girl 1 year ago. Police say Perez murdered 30-year-old Frances Michelle Fulweiler, 38-year-old Cindy Ray Bars, and her daughter Stacy in their Barton Hills home. Investigators say Perez was dating one of the women. Defense attorneys say they will prove the investigation only focused on Perez when they think there are other suspects responsible. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. A national retail store is helping reshape the image of thousands of women that are just getting off welfare. Marvin's 53-foot mobile community closet made a stop in Austin on Monday, giving out suits and other clothes to some women who are recently off welfare. Organizers say the goal is to give women a new ensemble to boost their self-esteem as they enter the workforce. Beverly Arnold says it will definitely help.
They're getting us prepared to get out there, feel confident.
We're teaching our children, the team members' children, to reach out to the community in everything they do.
Mervyn's launched the program in 1998, clothing 1,000 women, and they hope to reach out to an additional 1,000 this year. People living along the east coast of Florida all the way to the Carolinas are preparing for Hurricane Floyd. South Carolina's governor has ordered hundreds of National Guard troops to his state in case an evacuation is ordered. People living in Savannah, Georgia are being told to leave town. State leaders have posted a mandatory evacuation for the whole city as Hurricane Floyd nears the southeast coast. In Florida, more than 1 million people are being urged to leave. News 8 will continuously update you on the hurricane during our weather on the 8s. Firefighters in Central Texas will soon have more help in order to fight brush fires. An announcement is expected this morning on bringing in more help from the Texas Forest Service for Bastrop and Travis County firefighters. There have been about 36 fires in the Bastrop area alone. While most are in the hill country, living in a city does not mean you are free from wildfire danger.
Anyone and everyone needs to take extra special precaution on any outdoor activity. Anything that can cause a spark will, in these drought-like conditions, cause a wildfire to begin.
Here are a few tips if you live near an open field in the hill country or in the city. Be sure and clear away the dry grass and leaves in your gutters and around your home. Also, make sure you have a hose handy. If a small fire does break out, you'll have water on hand. As a reminder, many counties are under a burn ban. That means no burning trash or grass in your yard. If you have any questions, you can call your local fire department. People living in Austin could soon get the choice to choose who sits on their city council. As News 8 Austin's Phil Kahn explains, minority communities say they feel underrepresented when it comes to the Austin City Council. So now a vote could be in order.
Thank you all for the time and effort.
Austinites currently pick their city council from the entire city, a process that's known as at-large elections. It's been that way since the city was founded, but now some critics say it unfairly stacks the city council with members from certain parts of town, and now they want to change.
It's about time that we sit down at the table and carve out some neighborhood districts so that each area could be better represented in this large, growing metropolitan area.
A recent study by city demographers shows that 2/3 of city council members over the past 25 years have come from the same general part of town, the Northwest.
In fact, 3 of Austin's recent mayors have come from this affluent Tarrytown neighborhood. But it's not just minorities or lower socioeconomic groups who say they're excluded from Austin's political life. Thousands of people who live in Northwest Austin say they're also victims of taxation without representation.
They don't represent all of Austin. They just represent the downtown core of Austin, around the UT area and down there. They don't represent us out here.
Mike Borden speaks for many of the 27,000 people who live in the recently annexed part of Northwest Austin, all the way on the other side of town, but feeling just as alienated as those who live in South Austin.
We're mainly Christian, we're mainly conservative, we're mainly Republican. The city council that we have right now is mainly a Democrat-type city council. They don't really, I would say, believe in the same principles and ideas that we believe in.
Austin's Charter Revision Committee is expected to recommend at least some single-member districts to the City Council later this month. If approved, those changes could be sent to voters as early as January. Phil Kahn, News 8, Austin.
The issue of single-member districts has come before the City Council 4 different times in the last 25 years, only to meet defeat every single time. Signs of Georgetown's housing boom are causing the city some headaches. Residents say everywhere you look, builders are putting out advertising signs. The signs are designed to direct potential homeowners to available homes. But people living in the city say the signs are just causing a mess along streets and intersections. Builders and real estate agents promise to clean up their act. City leaders will consider a proposal to ban the signs at the council meeting on tonight at 7 o'clock at the Georgetown City Hall. He's only 15 years old and he's fighting his way to the top of the country's best boxer list. Meet our News 8 Austin Athlete of the Week coming up.
How do you describe a new entertainment experience that gives you more?
Selection.
Dozens of new channels and more program choices than ever before.
Clarity.
Sound so vibrant, it's CD quality.
Control.
A new, easy-to-use on-screen guide. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but only one word can describe a picture like this.
Digital.
Now in Austin, digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Will it free your mind? Or free your phone line? Yes, it's Roadrunner High-Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With Roadrunner's advanced cable modem technology, you don't need a second phone line. And you won't tie up the one you have now. Sounds good, huh? To order Roadrunner today, call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
Totally original, absolutely on fire. Original series on Time Warner Cable.
Award-winning. Action-packed. Off the wall. Riveting. Provocative. Mind-bending. Groundbreaking.
Original series from America's hottest networks. Value you can see every day, every week on Time Warner Cable.
Today's commuter forecast is brought to you by Town North Nissan Mitsubishi, where volume selling saves you money.
Well, Well, good morning. It's just about 8:38 right now, and we are looking at our commuter forecast for this evening. Heading out during after the working hours, temperatures should be generally nice in the mid to upper 80s. Winds will be out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour. On our Doppler radar, I want to pinpoint out to the very southern tip right now of Texas. We're seeing some pretty strong thunderstorms at this time, but the rest of the state remains to look very dry, but very comfortable with temperatures generally in the 60s to lower 70s. But look at Amarillo, holding off at 58 degrees at this time. For us, though, out at Bergstrom, we have a temperature of 72 degrees, dew point 67. Right now, the humidity is at 84%, and the winds have been anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, your fastcast looking really good this afternoon. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-upper 80s. Northeast winds will be about 10 miles per hour. By tonight, though, those winds will become light, and temperatures will cool off nicely into the lower 60s with fair skies. A very mild evening is expected. And if you're making plans not only for day outdoors, tomorrow is going to be just as nice. We'll see mostly sunny skies. Temperatures a tad warmer, near 90 degrees. Well, stay with us, and we'll take a look at your 5-day planner, but first let's take a look at your interactive traffic report with Jabari Warfield.
Well, good morning. For those of you who are traveling on 183 this morning, got a little problem to watch out for. In addition to the heavy traffic we've already got, we've got a collision on 183 just south of Duval. It's going to affect traffic for those of you traveling near Jolly Villa Breaker. You can avoid this by taking Breaker Lane down to Burnett Road, or possibly if you're going down 360, take Jollyville up to the 360 area. In addition to that, we've got a rollover wreck in the Cedar Park area on FM 1431, and this is going to be just west of Cedar Park on a street called Buck Run on FM 1431, 2 miles west of Cedar Park. Starflight more than likely is going to be responding to this. Heavy traffic on northbound I-35 this morning. Not sure what the deal is, but it is increased in volume and heavy traffic on northbound I-35, starting at Slaughter Lane all the way up to about, let's say right around the downtown area from Slaughter all the way up. So heavy traffic there. Southbound I-35 heavy from Round Rock up to about the Airport Boulevard area as well. I'm Jabari Warfield. That's News 8 Interactive Traffic.
Fighting through adversity is something that comes naturally to James Kirkland. He's used boxing to better himself and battle through hardships in life. It's that kind of dedication that makes him our first News 8 Athlete of the Week. Here's David Marcus.
15-year-old James Kirkland is not only one of the best boxers in Austin, he's one of the finest in the country. He's trained for 7 years at the Montopolis Boxing Club and already has 5 Junior Olympics titles under his belt. For a fighter ranked second in the nation in his age group, he's got a fighting chance to get even better.
I want to become professional, lightweight, no matter what weight I'm in. But I want to get placed first in the Olympics and get a belt and all that kind of stuff.
James credits his coach, Pops Billingsley, for not only improving his game, but for bettering his life. Pops has been just that, a father figure to James during some pretty rough times.
All he needed is somebody to have patience with him, train him, keep him out of the streets, and he can excel in boxing.
Actually like a father figure too, because he's like been basically everywhere, and like when we needed him, he was there.
James isn't the only one to benefit from Pops Billingsley's boxing club over the years. Hundreds of boys have come here and learned some valuable life lessons.
We have to give it a shot. We're trying to give any kid that comes this way, we try to give him a good shot at life.
And because of that guidance, James has learned values that will carry him even outside of the ring.
Just hard work, and you gotta have a big heart, stay in it, and think you can, and you can.
So we salute James Kirkland, our very first News 8 Athlete of the Week. David Marcus, News 8 Sports.
News 8 Austin Sports Department is committed to covering local sports. And part of that commitment is the News 8 Austin Athlete of the Week. Every week we'll showcase a different Austin athlete, someone who's making a difference on the playing field and right here in our community. Here's a look at what's making news around the Lone Star State in our News 8 Austin Texas Roundup. Testimony continues today in the trial of Lawrence Burr. He's the second of 3 men charged in killing James Byrd Jr. Byrd was dragged to death behind a pickup truck last June in Jasper. In opening statements on Monday, the prosecution described Burr as someone who sees himself as a hero for having killed a black man. One man in connection to the dragging death has already been given the death penalty. Burr could be sent to death row if convicted. Things should be back to normal at a Plano mall following an evacuation yesterday. Chlorine and a pool cleanser used to clean the decorative water fountains at Collin Creek Mall somehow got mixed together, causing chemical fumes to spread throughout parts of the building. At least 100 people became ill. These days, it seems a new bar or restaurant pops up in downtown Austin almost every couple of days. But some believe those businesses are being bought at the expense of our children. Downtown daycares are vanishing. News 8 Austin's Nicole Traynor explains why.
Standing outside with my mouth open wide.
It's where you take your kids every day on your way to work. A place they play, learn, and meet new friends. But too often in the downtown area, Austin daycare centers are closing up for good.
Over the last few years, there's been many centers who chose to close.
Ron Hubbard is an early childhood planner. He says downtown is prime real estate. Rent is skyrocketing, and landlords say leasing to bars and restaurants pulls in more money than daycares. Then there's the problem of finding good help.
Childcare is a relatively low-paying profession, and we're working to change that.
Hubbard says it's always been tough to fill staff at centers, but with Austin's cost of living on the rise, people can't afford to stay in low-paying jobs. That, he says, starts a vicious cycle. More kids turned away because of fewer classes, resulting in daycares completely shutting down.
We closed our school that was about 3 blocks from here over off on West Avenue.
Phoenix School is one of the ones that had to close its downtown location. The director says rent is just too expensive. That closure left about 60 kids with no place to go.
It's a lot more expensive in Central Austin.
To address the problem, a child care council has been created. That council will weigh solutions and report to the city of Austin. Until that time, parents will continue to fight for the few available daycare slots, and daycares will fight to keep the staff full and the doors open. Nicole Traynor, News 8 Austin.
Hubbard says many families spend as much money on daycare as they do for their child's college education. The cost of daycare downtown runs anywhere from $600 to $700 every month. Hurricane Floyd is forcing thousands along the East Coast to leave their homes and head inland. Folks at NASA are also keeping an eye on the sky, hoping to protect their space shuttles. Our look at news beyond Texas is coming up. Get out those lucky lottery tickets. We're about to give you last night's winning lottery numbers. The big 3 numbers are 0, 4, and 7. Cash 5 numbers are 9, 20, 28, 35, and 39. And don't forget, you can see the lottery drawings live right here on News 8 Austin at 9:59 every night, except for Sunday. Good luck.
It's better channels, digital picture, and CD quality sound. Plus a new, easy-to-use on-screen guide with on-channel banners that tell you what you're watching now and 7 days of program listings that help you plan your future. All this without missing a moment and no additional equipment to buy. From the leader in entertainment comes the latest in entertainment technology.
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it for making faster connections or better connections? Yes, it's Roadrunner High-Speed Online from Time Warner Cable, and it's here. Roadrunner connects to the internet through your cable line instead of your phone line, so you're always connected. No more dialing in and no more busy signals. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
The best thing is, they weren't even my pants.
All season long, it's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling football under the lights. It's ESPN Sunday Night Football.
The Dogs are back, and you know what that means. ESPN Sunday Night Football all season long.
Well, good morning. I'm meteorologist Sandra Villalobos, and it's now about 48 past the hour. As we take a look at our fastcast for today, not a bad day. That cold front did push through yesterday. It left us northeasterly winds for this afternoon. That's going to really help out to bring those temperatures to where they feel very comfortable outside in the upper 80s for today. Now, the evening hours are going to look just as nice. We're going to be seeing temperatures dropping into the lower 60s, a very mild evening with light northeasterly winds expected. But tomorrow just about seems the same thing. We're going to see a very nice forecast again for tomorrow as temperatures warm up into the upper 80s under mostly sunny skies tomorrow afternoon. So if you're making any outdoor plans, tomorrow's a great day to do so. Taking a look at our temperature almanac, though, normals for today are generally in the lower 90s. It looks like we're going to be just a little shy of that this afternoon. Overnight lows will be in the lower 70s. Nowhere close to the records, though, thank goodness, because 102 just seems a little too hot for us about right now. As we move on, though, you're going to see we did get showers yesterday. This is our 24-hour total precipitation accumulation. Most of this is well to the north, as you can see. Just to the southwest of San Antonio, they did see some showers. But take a look at Austin. Again, it looks like we remain to be dry. And that's going to be the case again. But putting the future radar in motion, we'll see some heavy showers into tomorrow develop across portions of the panhandle. But take a look at us. High pressure begins to settle in, and that leaves us with dry conditions. Here's your 5-day forecast. You're looking at temperatures generally near 90 in through the weekend. Overnight lows will be in the mid-60s. Unfortunately, no chances for showers anytime soon. Stay with us. We'll take a look at your forecast again in less than 10 minutes with weather on the 8s.
This just ended News 8 Austin. We have some extremely important information for you. H-E-B supermarkets are recalling all ground beef sold this past Sunday and Monday. Supermarket officials say E. coli bacteria was found in a sample. The recall affects plastic-wrapped ground beef with sell dates by September 13th and September 14th. They are also recalling 16-ounce pre-packed super lean meat tubes with the sell date of September 23rd. There have been no illnesses reported so far. H-E-B representatives say that cooking ground meat products to an internal temperature of 160 degrees or higher can eliminate the presence of E. coli. Again, if you bought ground beef Sunday or Monday, you need to check your ground beef and then take it back to the supermarket because it is under a recall. Each half hour, we'll take a look at what's making news around the nation and around the world in our News 8 Austin Beyond Texas report. This pileup halted Monday morning's commute, but it's now open again. At least 3 people were killed and 9 others injured after an 18-wheeler plowed into a line of stopped cars. The truck exploded, setting several cars on fire. The truck driver and several others were taken to area hospitals for treatment. No charges have been filed. Hurricane Floyd has people up and down the East Coast scared, and for good reason. Floyd is a Category 4 hurricane and is gaining strength. A hurricane warning is in effect for the mainland portion of Florida and the coastal regions of Georgia. South Carolina's governor has ordered 600 National Guard troops to his state in case of evacuation. People living in Savannah, Georgia are already under a mandatory evacuation. News 8 Austin will keep you updated as Hurricane Floyd's conditions continue in our Weather on the 8's hurricane forecast. There's a whole world wide web of information out there, but if you need some help surfing that information superhighway, we have a tour guide just for you. Every day, News 8 Austin will show you a new website that you should check out on our web sightings. Right now, Tina Nelson has a look at planetgirl.com.
Today we're going to look at Austin Girl Games, planetgirl.com. It's a teen girl's dream site. It's got lively colors, it's easy to navigate. You can do some fun things in the games section like the magnetic poetry drag and drop. You can also check your horoscope or go to the relationship section and ask Grandpa Bud about all those pesky boy problems. My favorite section is in reality, Pixel's World, where she shows you how to solve everyday problems with cool technology. I'm Tina Nelson for News 8 Austin. If you've got a site you'd like for us to check out, drop us an email at websightings@news8austin.com.
Today's Web Sightings is brought to you by David McDavid Acura. This brand stands for savings.
I've asked just how do we plan on putting on 24 hours of local Austin coverage, and our answer is 24 hours of commitment to you. News 8 Austin's Todd Boatwright takes you on a behind-the-scenes look at our station and explains how we bring you news 24 hours a day.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
This is your news now.
And with that, Austin's only 24-hour local news channel is on the air. It's an operation boasting a lot of people, from production crews to the largest news staff in the city. News 8 Austin says it's a different approach to local news, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, here we go.
The biggest difference, I think, is that there's no other concerns aside from news. It's all news. It's not like you're worried about Oprah or sitcoms or trying to fit everything into a half an hour.
The concept that we are a 24-hour local news channel, this hasn't been done many other places in the United States. So it is a unique and rewarding challenge, and the fact that we are able to bring the community 24-hour local news, things that affects them, their communities, their families.
To make it all happen, computers rule, from news writing to story editing to the final product you see at home. It's one of the most high-tech stations in the country, something new that can be a challenge.
It says take full screen over Bob's.
The transition in technology, I can't even begin to tell you how difficult that was at first, but once you get used to it, it's kind of like riding a bike.
So News 8 Austin has the largest news staff in the city, plus some high-tech tools. The question remains, how do you fill a 24-hour day with local news?
And, you know, the concept is it's not 24 hours worth of news. It's news at your convenience. So when you tune in, there's an hour worth of news. That's what you need.
Okay, and now let's go to IUT Childcare now.
News 8 Austin says it trades in hype for substance and the ability to go live with breaking news any time of the day. The emphasis is on community and its needs. You've probably heard about us for months. Now News 8 Austin is on the air with your news now. Todd Boatwright, News 8.
News 8 Austin also has portable editors in every single live truck and satellite truck, which allows reporters and photographers more mobility when bringing news to you. Weather on the 8s is next. I'm Denise Menard, and more of the day's headlines are coming up at the top of the hour right here on News 8 Austin, where your news now.
More only matters when it's more of what you want. That's why we haven't just added more channels, but more choices. The selections you've asked for, the options you can't get anywhere else. Plus a new easy-to-use on-screen guide, digital picture, and CD quality sound. All with no additional equipment to buy. What's the name of the service that brings you all this and more?
Digital.
Digital cable from Time Warner. Welcome to what's next.
Is it the fastest vehicle on the information superhighway? Or the best home entertainment system in the world? Yes, it's Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable. And it's here. With advanced cable modem technology, it's much faster than dial-up online services. So less time waiting and more time enjoying. Order Roadrunner today. Call 531-FAST or visit our website. Get Roadrunner and get around.
HGTV's most inspiring original series, Restore America with Bob Vila.
It's people with a passion coming together to preserve the past for future generations. Every Sunday night, we'll visit a different state and hear the stories behind some of the country's most extraordinary restoration projects. Join me for this unprecedented new series, Restore America.
For renovations of historic proportions, join HGTV every Sunday.
morning. It's just about 58 past the hour now, and as we take a look at your Earth Almanac, you realize that the days are getting shorter. Our sunrise today is at 7:14. The sunset is at 7:39 now. Now, we're not going to see much sunshine this afternoon. That leaves us generally with about 584 minutes of sunshine as we head right into the phase of the first quarter moon. As we take a look, though, at our fastcast for today, not a bad day. We're looking at generally upper 80s, fair skies this afternoon, northeasterly winds thanks to the cold front. That's what's actually going to make it feel very nice this afternoon. For tonight, though, temperatures will be in the lower 60s. Great evening to get outdoors, take a walk. We're looking at mild conditions through the overnight hours as well. And again, for tomorrow, you may see some morning low clouds, but those will be quick to burn off, leaving us with mostly sunny skies. Your temperature almanac, well, it looks like this for today. We're generally in the lower 90s to lower 70s, and that's just about where we're going to be this afternoon. Nowhere near the records 102 or 54. Thank goodness. That's pretty warm and pretty chilly. Let's take a look at Floyd, though. It's still pounding off across the southeast, now entering into the Bahamas, still considered a Category 4 with a lot of strength. We'll keep you updated on that through the afternoon. As you take a look at our outlook, the cold front skirts off to the southeast, possibly triggering some showers across the southern part of the state today, but into the late evening hours into tomorrow, we have another chance for showers pushing into the Texas area. For us, unfortunately, high pressure will take over. Here's your 5-day forecast. You'll be looking at temperatures generally in the upper 80s, lower 90s through the rest of this week. Stay with us. More weather in 10 minutes.
Look what you can order tonight on pay-per-view.
Critics are calling Copa America 1999 the must-see event of the year. Fox Sports World Espanol gives it 4 stars. An inspiring story of 12 national selections doing battle for the right to be called champion of the Americas. Starring defending champion Brazil.